After Kaddish, I'll call you up, but you're both going to come up. And then Daniel will do the announcements, and then you guys are going to lead Kiddush and Motzi. You can't see it from there, but it's over here.
Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom. Maya Hayom, Shabbat shalom, Maya Hayom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom. Maya Hayom, Shabbat shalom, Maya Hayom, Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. This is our last service using our packets. Next Shabbat, we're going to be returning to our Mishkan Tefillah prayer book. Next Friday night is our confirmation service. You'll be able to watch our confirmands here on the Bima next Friday night over the live stream. And then next Sunday evening, if you join us for our Erev Shavuot service, we will be here in the sanctuary. You are welcome to join us by reservation. And then following that, Friday nights will be here in person by reservation. We are so excited to be able to welcome everybody back. If you are looking to get a prayer book, if you plan to spend more time at home rather than in the sanctuary, you can check your temple times for information about the Mishkan Tefillah prayer book, and you would look for the Shabbat version. But of course, you can always get in touch with us here at Temple and borrow a copy from us for home use. We are happy to help you out. We want everybody to be able to pray with us. Our service is going to continue at the bottom of page 1 with Zamru Ladonai.
Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Zamru Ladonai. Zamru חצוצרות וקול שופר הביאו לפני המלך אדוני הביאו לפני המלך אדוני זמרו לאדוני זמרו אדוני
If you would turn with me over to page 2 for the kindling of the Sabbath lights. As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we by our lives give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Blessed are you who commands us to kindle the lights of Shabbat.
Together just below, we offer thanks, O God, for this Shabbat, which unites us in faith and hope, for Shabbat holiness, which inspires sacred living, for Shabbat memories glowing even in darkness, for Shabbat peace born of friendship and love, we offer thanks and blessing, O God. And along with welcoming the Sabbath, we welcome as well the angels of Shabbat here to comfort us as we celebrate together. Shalom Aleichem.
Lai la lai, lai lai la lai, lai la lai, lai la lai, lai 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 lai, lai la lai, lai 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 lai, lai lai lai. Shalom Aleichem, Malchei Hasharim, Malchei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu boachem leshalom malchei hashalom malchei elyon melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu Malchuni l'shalom, malachei hashalom, malachei elyon, melech malachei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu. Tzedchem l'shalom, malachei hashalom, malachei elyon, melech malachei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu. Tumbalalai, tumbalalai, tumbalalayka, tumbalalai, tumbalalai, tumbalalayka, tumbalalayka, spielbalalayka, spielbalalayka, freilich soll sein. Lai la la lai 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 la lai la lai 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 la lai 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 lai.
The top of page 4. There are days when we seek things for ourselves and measure failure by what we do not gain. On Shabbat, we seek not to acquire, but to share. There are days when we exploit nature as if it were a horn of plenty that can never be exhausted. On Shabbat, we stand in wonder before the mystery of creation. There are days when we act as if we cared nothing for the rights of others. On Shabbat, we remember that justice is our duty and a better world our goal. So we embrace Shabbat, day of rest, day of wonder, day of peace.
Lecha dodi likrat kalai alalai 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 b'nei Shabbat nekavilai Lecha dodi likrat kalai alalai 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 b'nei Shabbat nekavilai Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad השמיענו אל המיוחד, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, שם ותפארת ולתחילה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, יאללה 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 בני שבת נקבלה, לך דודי בני שבת נקבלה לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה כי מקור הברכה מראש מקדם נסוכה סוף מעשה במחשן לחילה לך Dodi lichad kalai alalai 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 ne Shabbat nikabila lechad dodi lichad kalai alalai 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 ne Shabbat nikabila hitoreri kifa ore Berry, Kvoda Donai, Alaich Mikla, Lecha Dodi Lecha Kalai, Alalai, 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 Bene Shabbat, Nekavila, Lecha Dodi Lecha Kalai, Alalai, 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 Bene Shabbat, Nekavila. Shalom, Teret Bala, Gam Mesimcha, Utzola, Tochemune, Yam Segula, Boichala, Lecha Dodi Lecha Kala, Yalanai, 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 Bene Shabbat. Nikabila lecha dodi lecha kalai alalai 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 b'nei Shabbat nikabila.
The middle of page 4. O God, you are as near as the very air we breathe, yet farther than the farthermost star. We yearn to reach you. We seek the light and warmth of your presence. Though we say you are near, we are lonely and alone. Oh, let our desire be so strong that it will tear the veil that keeps you from our sight. Let your light release our darkness and reveal the glory and joy of your presence.
Yitkada Shmei Rabbah Biamadi Frachirute Biamlich Machute Bechai Echon Uvyom Echon Ufchai Echo Beit Yisrael Bagala Uvisman Kariv Vimeru Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabba Mevorach Le'alamul Almei Hamaya Yitbarach V'yishtabach V'yitpa'ar V'yitrambam V'yitnaseh V'yitadar V'yitaleh V'yitalal Shmei Dekutsha B'richu Leila min kobrechata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata damiran miyama v'yimeru. Amen. We rise either in body or in spirit for our call to prayer at the top of page 5. Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Ya la 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 la, 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 ya la 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 la. Barechu et Adonai Hamevorach Baruch Adonai la 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 la, ya 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 la 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 la.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of tide, of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Baruch atah Adonai hama'ariv aravim. Blessed are you, Adonai, from whom the evening flows. At the top of page 6, hear, O Israel, the divine abounds everywhere and dwells in everything. The many are one. Loving life in its mysterious source with all our heart and our spirit, all our senses and strength, we take upon ourselves and into ourselves these promises: to care for the earth and those who live upon it, to pursue justice and peace, to love kindness and compassion. We will teach this to our children throughout the passage of the day as we dwell in our homes and as we go on our journeys, from the time we rise until we fall asleep. And may our actions be faithful to our words, that our children's children may live to know truth and kindness have embraced, peace and justice have kissed and are one. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people, Israel.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto le'olam va'ed. Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto le'olam va'ed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
We can be seated once more as we join together in the words of the Haftarah at the bottom of page 6.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha uv'chol nafshecha uv'chol me'otecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavcha hayom al levavecha Vishinantam levanecha vidibarta bam bishivtecha b'veitecha uvlechtecha vaderech uvshochbecha uvkumecha uksartam lehot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot bein einecha Uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tizkeru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'tem kedoshim leloechem ani Adonai Elohechem Asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liyot lachem le'Elohim ani Adonai Elohechem.
In the middle of the page, when justice burns within us like a flaming fire, when love evokes willing sacrifice from us, when to the last full measure of selfless devotion we demonstrate our belief in the ultimate triumph of truth and righteousness, then goodness enters our lives and we can begin to change the world. Micha Mocha, the top of page 8.
מי כמוך בהלים אדוני מי כמוך נדר בקודש נורא תהילות עושה פלא מי כמוך בהלים אדוני מי כמוך נדר בקודש נורא תהילות Oh, say, fella, who is like you? Who is like you? Who is like you? Adonai, who is like you? Who is like you? Who is like you, Adonai, Malchutecha ra'uvanecha, bokeh hayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam, ze Elianu, anu ve'amru. Malchutecha ra'uvanecha, bokeh hayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam, ze Elianu, anu ve'amru. Adonai Melech le'olam va'ed, who is like you? Adonai, who is like you? Who is like you? Who is like you? Adonai, who is like you? Who is like you? Who is like you? Who is like you? Adonai, who is like you? Who is like you? Who is like you? Adonai.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will. Baruch atah Adonai, haporesu kat shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim. Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem. Let's turn together to the top of page 10. The meaning of Shabbat is to celebrate time rather than space. 6 days a week, we live under the tyranny of things of space. On Shabbat, we try to become attuned to holiness in time. It is a day on which we are called upon to share in what is eternal in time, to turn from the results of creation to the mystery of creation, from the world of creation to the creation of the world. And we're going to continue below in the middle of the page. A thought has blown the marketplace away, and we begin with a nigun.
Yai hai hai, yai hai hai, yai hai hai, yai hai, yai hai 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 hai. A thought has blown the marketplace away. There is a song on the wind and joy in the trees. Shabbat has arrived in the world, scattering a song in the silence of the night, and eternity utters a day, and eternity utters a day. Yai hai hai, yai hai hai, yai hai hai, yai hai, yai hai 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 hai, a thought has blown the marketplace away. There is a song on the wind and joy in the trees. Shabbat has arrived in the world, scattering a song in the silence of the night, and eternity utters a day, and eternity utters a day. Yai hai hai, yai hai hai, yai hai hai, yai hai, yai hai hai, yai hai hai, and we rise either in body or in spirit as we begin our tefillah with those words, Adonai Svatai. Adonai Svatai, Svatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai Svatai, Svatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avoteinu v'imoteinu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el HaGadol, HaGibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei HaKol, V'Zocher Chastei Havot v'Imot, U'Mevii Geula Livnei V'neihem, Leman Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshia u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayei hakol atarav lehoshia, Morid hatal, Mechakel chayim bechesed, Mechayei hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim v'rofei cholim, U'matir asurim, U'mekayem emunato, Lishenei עפר, מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך? מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה. ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש. We can be seated once more as we continue together at the top of page 12. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day, and may this day fulfill its promise. Praise to you, Adonai, who sanctifies Shabbat. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat. And at the bottom of the page, you are with us in our prayer, our love, and our doubt, in our longing to feel your presence and do your will. You are the still, clear voice within us. Therefore, O God, when doubt troubles us, when anxiety makes us tremble, when pain clouds the mind, we look inward for the answer to our prayers. There may we find you, and there find courage, insight, and endurance. And let our worship bring us closer to one another, that all Israel and all who seek you may find new strength for your service. Baruch atah Adonai she'otcha levadcha b'yir'ah na'avod. And on page 13, we read together at the bottom the reading To a Dreamer. Some dreams are of things past, warm and wonderful, or sad or frightening. When we wake from them, we shake them off. Some dreams are in the present, shutting out the world around us and letting us drift on a cloud more than reality. And what dreams about the future? The dreams that are creative, imaginative, seeds of events to come. Those dreams don't deal with nostalgia or fear, nor do they keep us suspended in time or space, but they propel us into action. We need them. We need all three. We need the dreamers. Pity the minds that do not dream. And of course, our greatest dream is the dream for peace. Shalom Rav, the top of page 14. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim
take a moment now for our own silent prayers.
Guide my steps and help me find my way. I need your shelter now. Rock me in your arms and guide my steps and help me make this day a song of praise to you. Rock me in your arms and guide my steps. Oh, guide my steps and help me find my way. I need your shelter now. Rock me in your arms and guide my steps and help me make this day a song of praise to you. Rock me in your arms and guide my steps. Guide my steps and help me find my way. I need your shelter now. Rock me in your arms and guide my steps and help me make this day a song of praise to you. Rock me in your arms and guide my steps. Rock me in your arms and guide my steps. Rock me in your arms and guide my steps.
The Shabbat is a double portion in the Torah. It's Shabbat Bahar Bechukotai. And tomorrow morning, Haley Newman becomes bat mitzvah, and she's going to be reading from Parshat Bechukotai, and she's going to talk to us a little bit about the portion. It is an unsettling portion, Bechukotai. And I have for us this evening a beautiful Devar Torah that I want to share with you. It's by Cantor Sarah Sager. And it was actually originally printed in the women's commentary, the Torah women's commentary that came out through the URJ Press and Women of Reform Judaism in 2008. And Cantor Sager calls this the impossible world, how to restore the world to a single divine reality. There is something profoundly unsettling about Bechukotai. It seemed to posit a world that we know empirically does not exist. It claims that there is a direct correlation between our actions and the natural order of the universe. Leviticus 26, verse 3 promises unambiguously, if you follow my laws and faithfully observe my commandments, I will grant you rains in their season. You shall eat your fill of bread. These are blessings. Verses Leviticus 14 through 16 warn just as clearly, but if you do not obey me and do not observe all these commandments, I will wreak misery upon you. As an aside, not Cantor Sager's words, these curses, this portion of blessings and curses, if you obey, you'll be blessed. If you do not obey, you will be cursed. The tradition, actually, in synagogues is to read the blessing portion loud and proudly, but when we get to the curses, we say them as a whisper. They are not easy to deal with. Back to Cantor Sager. The seeming system of reward and punishment that these biblical passages proclaim appears to contradict the troubling reality that we witness, in which good people suffer and evil people often prosper. Passages like these seem to provide justification for those who reject both faith and God. How often do we hear, in the face of personal trauma or tragedy, I can no longer believe in God, or I can't believe in a God who would do this? How are we to understand God's threats and promises? According to the biblical scholar Nahama Leibowitz, our ancestors regarded blessings and curses, such as those in Bechukotai, as forms of prayer. These are the things that people hoped for, even willed to happen, in their longing for a world in which justice would visibly prevail. Perhaps this Torah portion is telling us in its own theological language that there is a moral order to the universe that is intrinsically connected to the natural order of the universe, and that the two orders are mutually dependent. In these teachings, it is as if God gives humankind every opportunity to discern that human action is intrinsic and essential to the proper functioning of the cosmos. Over and over again, the Torah enjoins us to act, to do, and to be because we were slaves to Pharaoh in Egypt, because we know the feelings of the stranger, and through these experiences have been given the opportunity to glimpse this truth. This is why we were chosen to bear witness to God's revelation that I, your God, am holy. We are created in God's image, and we, as God's partners, were chosen for a sacred task. This is our heritage and our responsibility. This is what it means to complete the work of creation. But what if we forget, neglect, or ignore our sacred task of following the commandments? The catalog of threats and promises is a biblical way to explain how intimate the connection of the natural realm of the universe is to the moral realm. The two realms do not function independently of each other. There is a moral order to the universe as surely as there is a more easily observable natural order of rains in their seasons. And it is in the moral realm where God cannot function alone. God never could, and so kept looking for partners. What did we expect of a God who created the natural universe? that the moral dimension was an afterthought. Our sages believed it pre-existed. God did not neglect the moral realm. On the contrary, humankind did. God kept expecting humankind to behave morally and was constantly disappointed with Adam, with Noah, with the generations after the flood. Finally, God found Abraham, the person who engaged God as an equal on ethical ground. Remember, Abraham asked, "Must not the judge of all the earth do justly?" And the process of revelation began. The essential unity of all aspects of God's creation appears as well in Lurianic Kabbalah's formulation of the universe. Isaac Luria's theory of Shirat HaKelim, the shattering of the vessels, seeks to explain the brokenness of our world and to advance the means to restore it to its original unity. For Luria in the 16th century, it was the great cosmic shattering that had brought about our exile from God and from God's creation. Luria not only understood the primordial unity of God's intention, but also yearned for a return to it. In God's promise of rains in their seasons and presence in your midst, Luria could see the opportunity for humankind to repair the world, to release the sparks, to play a role in the restoration of the universe through the performance of mitzvot. In Judaism, the mystic does not seek to transcend or deny the material world. Rather, the mystic's goal is the objective of this Torah portion: to restore the world materially and spiritually to a single divine reality. As Lawrence Fine describes that goal in his study of Luria, physician of the soul, healer of the cosmos, it is the dream that collective human effort can mend a broken world. This is the vision of Bechukotai. In these final verses of the book of Leviticus, God describes in the most tactile, physical, understandable terms possible the relationship between God's creation and humankind's responsibility. It is simultaneously bribe and promise, exhortation and encouragement. At the foundation of it all is the essential understanding of Torah. The physical and ethical dimensions of God's creation are wholly dependent upon each other, and we ignore that relationship at our peril. There is no quid pro quo for individuals in the world. God's scheme is far grander and more subtle than that. The issue is not one of personal reward and punishment. It is the unity of God, the unity of the prophetic vision as rendered in our liturgy from the prophet Zechariah. On that day, all the world shall be one, and God's name shall be one. It is the ultimate fulfillment of Torah, as expressed in Bechukotai. These are the laws, rules, and Torot that God established, Beino uvein bnei Israel, between us and in relationship with the children of Israel. This is the partnership that must one day bring about the fulfillment of our hopes, dreams, and strivings. The sparks released as heaven and earth, heart and mind and soul are united at last. We turn our thoughts now to those who are in need of healing. Page 16. We pray for family, friends, members of this congregation, and for everyone who is injured or ill in body or in spirit. Give strength and purpose, unflagging energy, and deep wells of patience to all who seek healing and to their caregivers, family, and friends. Our congregational family is especially thinking of this evening Barbara Adams, Mike Arnold, Carol Babcock, Donna Berlin, Rosalie Teddy Bono, Marilyn Burgay, Adele and Harold Cohen, Sally Constein, Tom Davis, Devorah Bott-Ruchel, Helene Edwards, Lisa Eisenberg, Smitha Estenville, Sheila Feldman, Art Fields, Jay Fisk, Amanda Garamita, David Gordon, Jim Grant, Mary Hartman, Jules Hildebrandt, Shirley Hildebrandt, Robert Kay, Barry Critchoff, Teresa Levy, Helen Maltese, Barbara McDonald, Karen Mitchum, David Orber, Kayla Neckel, David Osofsky, Laura Osofsky, Dr. Lynn Penavaria, Buddy Pollock, Jean Posen, Randall Rout, Sandra Reznikoff, Alex Rosen, Aileen Sabo, Stephanie Sibilia, Placido Segro, Ruthie Silver, Nicholas Sobek, Bernice Tobias, Georgia Triantafilopoulos, David Van Alstine, Ruth Van Alstine, Judy Van Gorder, and Lego Wagner. For all of those whom we named aloud, those of you who you may have named aloud in your own home this evening, and those who we hold dear in our hearts this evening, and surely at all times, we join together in our prayer for healing.
Mi sheberach avoteinu mikor habracha limotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mi sheberach imotenu mikor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
We turn now to the middle of page 17 for the Aleinu, and I invite you all to rise either in body or in spirit as I open the ark.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגור עלינו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. May we gain wisdom in our lives, overflowing like a river with understanding. Loved each of us for the peace we bring to others. May our deeds exceed our speech, and may we never lift up our hand but to conquer fear and doubt and despair. Rise up like the sun, O God, over all humanity.
Cause light to go forth over all the lands between the seas and light up the universe with the joy of wholeness, of freedom, and of peace.
ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
Please be seated. Our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. No week this year has been an easy one, but there's no doubt that this one has been a difficult one for our congregational family. This week we lost Marcia's husband, John Grado, and our dear friend, Mark Snitzer. We're observing the period of Shloshim for Matthew Hotchman, Marilyn Levitt, Gary Nadler, Sally Abelson, and Blanche Chalk. In this Shabbat, we observe the yahrzeit for Blanche Bachner, Rita Benjamin, Hilda Bernstein, Thomas Bomer, Rose S. Cohen, Evelyn Cohn, Susan Simon Dennis, Harriet Fisher, Edith Moskowitz Friedman, Alice C. Friedman, Joseph Geller, Dr. Sam Glossman, Adele Granite, Marilyn Haas, Ray Halley, David Lewis, Cecil Norton, Charles W. Politinsky, Ida Rosenblatt, Dr. Joshua Sack, Henry Schemmer, Molly Schlackman, Irving Sellin, Martin H. Setzer, Lily Sorkin, Jack Swartz, Deborah Tassman, Cecil Wolfson, Sarah Zisser. For all of those whom we've named aloud and those we hold dear in our hearts, we rise together as a community on page 19 for Kaddish Yatom, the Mourner's Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, v'alma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayei chon uv'yomei chon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uv'izman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'alam ul'almei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, V'yithadar v'yitale v'yithalal shemei dekudsha berichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran ba'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Osei shalom bimromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the one who makes peace on high bring peace upon us and all Israel and all those who mourn. And let us say, amen. It is my honor now to invite to the Bima Dan and Marcia Weinstock. Dan is going to deliver our announcements this evening, and then they're going to lead us in our Kiddush and Motzi.
Thank you, Cantor. Thank you for your wonderful voice that you're blessing us all with. We continue to worship, learn, and engage with our community virtually on Zoom and now in person for Saturday Shabbat services by reservation only. We give a mazel tov to Haley Newman as she becomes a bat mitzvah tomorrow. Tomorrow there's Torah study with Rabbi Goodman at 9 a.m. Shabbat morning service will be led by Cantor Barry at 10:30. And tomorrow evening, Mother's Day celebration in Havdalah, led by Sisterhood at 7:30. This is an in-person event held outside in front of the temple. And we wish all of our mothers a happy Mother's Day on Sunday. Tuesday, May 11th, is Wisdom, Goldie Lansky at 10:30. And on Wednesday, May 12th, we'll have the Religions of Abraham, comparing our faith, contemporary challenges, and historical linkages with Rabbi Kotak at 7 p.m. On Thursday, May 13th, is a program, Audacious Hospitality, with Rabbi Meryl Shapiro at 7 p.m. Temple is seeking guest presenters to lead wisdom discussions. If you have Jewish wisdom or stories to share in an open discussion forum, we'd love to hear from you. Wisdom classes are held on Tuesdays from 10:30 to 11:30. Email Mary Ellen Hathaway if you're interested in facilitating a wisdom discussion. If you would like to help usher, help with technology, and assist with the biblical garden, please contact the temple. Temple events can be found online, our Week at a Glance, the Temple Times, the Temple website, and the Messenger. Catch our social media postings on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And check our YouTube channel at thetemplejacks.org for recorded services and programs. Shabbat Shalom.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho b'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu, zikaron lema'aseh v'reshit. Ki hu yom techila lemikrai kodesh, zecher l'tziat mitzrayim. Ki vanu v'acharta, ve'otanu kidashta, mikol ha'amim. V'shabbat kodshecha, b'ahava uvratzon, hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh haShabbat. Amen. L'chaim. L'chaim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. B'te'avon.
V'te'avon. Please take some. I can't eat it until after I'm done singing.
Okay.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Marcia. Our concluding song this evening is the last song on page 21, the song One Day by Matisyahu. I put this in our packet when I put it together last month, and you've probably noticed that I haven't sung it at all. And today is the perfect Shabbat to conclude with this piece. Because Matisyahu wrote this song, most of his music, especially his early music, was written to express Jewish thoughts and prayers. Some of them are more explicit, and it's very easy to see the connection. And this one happens to be based on that prophet Zechariah's belief that on that day, Adonai shall be one, and God's name shall be one, the words that we just sang, Bayom hahu, Yihiyeh Adonai echad, u'shemo echad. Matisyahu, one day.
Sometimes I lay under the moon, thank God I'm breathing. Then I pray, don't take me soon, 'cause I'm here for a reason. Sometimes in my tears I drown, but I never let it get me down. So when negativity surrounds, I know someday it'll all turn around, because all my life I've been waiting for, I've been praying for the people to say that we don't want to fight no more. There'll be no more wars, and our children will play one day, one day, one day, oh, one day, one day, one day. It's not about win or lose, 'cause we all lose when they feed on the souls of the innocent. Blood-drenched pavement, keep on moving though the waters stay raging. In this maze you can lose your way, your way. It might drive you crazy, but don't let it face you, no way, no way. Sometimes in my tears I drown, but I never let it get me down. So when negativity surrounds, I know someday it'll all turn around, because all my life I've been waiting for, I've been praying for the people to say that we don't want to fight no more. There'll be no more wars, and our children will play one day, one day, one day, oh, one day, one day, one day. One day this all will change, treat people the same, stop with the violence, down with the hate. One day we'll all be free and proud to be under the same sun, singing songs of freedom like, all my life I've been waiting for, I've been praying for the people to say that we don't want to fight no more. There'll be no more wars, and our children will play one day, one day, one day, oh, one day, one day, one day, one day, one day, one day. One day, one day.
Make sure to get your Mishkan Tefillah for Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom.